Hey guys, my name is Nick from Logic Inbound. I might be a new face, but maybe you guys know my business partners, Vlad and Hike. I know Hike's giving a presentation here.
Yeah.
And we're going to cover some cool stuff today. I'm especially excited to share with you guys because this is stuff that we developed internally and we didn't read from Neil Patel or Rand Fishkin. And I don't think you're going to be able to read the content anywhere else, I'm hoping. And so I hope you guys find it as insightful as I have fun giving it.
So interrupt with this. Are you going to make this available, or do we have to be photo?
I'll make it available.
Okay.
Yeah. So originally, I was given a piece of advice by a very famous growth marketer. He said, Nick, you need to be more inflammatory in your presentations. And I took that to Connor, and Connor said, no way. So the title of the presentation is How to Optimize Your Content and Outrank Your Competition. It is not everything you know about SEO is a lie. So, because I'm a new face, one of the first things I want to do is kind of, display competency and tell you guys why you should listen to me, because there's so much SEO information out there. Why would you listen to someone like me versus, someone like Rand or Neil Patel? So I'm going to cover that. I'm also going to cover why is search important. I know everybody in this room understands the importance of search, but this video is going all across the world, and there's a lot of people who really just don't, they don't give it the time and attention that it deserves. I'm also going to tell you how to copy us. The strategies that we've implemented for ourselves are things that you guys can roll out for your agency to increase the amount of leads you get online, to demonstrate social proof, to position yourself uniquely against the competitors that you may be going into a deal with, and to make your clients a bunch more money than maybe you guys are making them today. I'm also going to share some cool stuff around how we hijacked and outranked much more powerful and strong domains like Shopify and Instagram. And then I'm going to share some unique, I hope they're unique, high-quality backlink strategies that have worked really well for us. We just got a backlink from Moz, and I'm going to tell you guys how to get backlinks from Moz too. So why you should listen. So we put over 2,500 keywords on the first page in 2017, and we're only a 2-year-old agency. 2017 was our second year in business. Our website, logicinbound.com, received 43,000 visits from over 1,400 first-page keywords. And we don't have all the answers. Very often I get asked a question that I don't know the answer to, but that does not stop me from ranking all day, every day, and it shouldn't stop you guys either. And so, one of the things that frustrates me the most is, when you Google, what impacts search rankings, you're going to get backlink.io, you're going to get Neil Patel, and they're going to have a list of 200 things that they're going to tell you impacts rankings. And it's so overwhelming. You don't know what to focus on. You don't know what's important. You don't know where to spend your resources, and neither do your clients or anyone else. And what we found through ranking these 2,500 keywords is really there's only 5 or 6 things that you guys need to be focused on, and that we focus on. We can ignore the rest, and we can get 95% of the impact from just these 4, 5, 6 things. So I'll be brief here because we're all on the same page. Why is search so important? So Snapchat's user base is falling. Facebook's testing is negatively impacting publishers. LinkedIn gross metrics are inflated. And Instagram is going to be cracking down on automation and engagement pods. Search still works. Search is going great. It's one of the oldest channels. It's I'm sure someone knows how old it is. 20 years old, 25, something like that. And it's still going to be there tomorrow. But Snapchat might not be. So for those of you not in this room, that's why search is important. So our content strategy, and by the way, I think Scott did a great job on communicating why targeting all stages of the buying life cycle is so important. This presentation is going to give you some tactical advice on how to implement that for yourself and for your client. So in 10 months, we brought our organic search traffic from 10 visitors to 43,000. And we're on track to hit 100,000 visits a month in the next 3 to 6 months. And I got to say, this is probably one of the most important decisions our SEO agency has ever made. The first is that we're this close to getting a consistent and scalable lead acquisition channel, which is the holy grail of agencies. This is a thing all agencies struggle with. is creating something that's consistent and scalable, and you can say, if I do X, I'll get Y, and if I do 2X, I'll get 2Y. So we're this close. The second is it completely changes the conversations that you have with prospects. We operate in a less than credible industry, right? Every one of the clients that we've worked with, a lot of them have been burned by someone who isn't as good as we are. And as a new agency in a less than credible industry, we didn't want to wait around for multiple years to have credibility. We wanted to shortcut that, and we wanted credibility today. Took about 10 months, but it's close enough for me. And then, like I said, it changes the way the sales conversation takes place, right? When I'm competing against multiple vendors, I ask the client, I say, hey, go ask those other SEO vendors how much money they make consuming search themselves. And you know what the answer is? None of them make money. Most, if not all, SEOers get their leads from networking events, social selling, and being able to come into the conversation from a place of personal experience on your own website is, one, very impressive to the clients, and two, none of your other competitors are doing that strategy. And so you can position the conversation as you got to make sure they're making money themselves, because if they're not, you can't trust them. And that plays perfectly into our strength, which is having a lot of search traffic for ourselves. And it's like I said, it's completely changed the way that we do business, and everyone here needs to be investing in this channel too. So how to copy us. So we use data to drive content decisions. We don't guess what people are searching for. As an agency, the people that hire me are marketers at larger orgs and founders at smaller orgs. And fortunately, I'm a marketer and a founder, so I know exactly what I'm searching for. And I'm searching for tactical information related to the platforms and tools that I use. And these are platforms like Shopify or Instagram or LinkedIn or my CRM or my email automation. If you look at the software stack that any organization uses, there's got to be maybe anywhere from 5 to 20 different pieces of software that have big brands that you can create content about, that marketers and founders are going to find, and now they know about you. So one of the great ways to filter these words is things like what, where, why versus reviews best. Now, as an SEO agency, you're probably thinking, that's great. I know a lot about SEO. I'm going to start creating content about SEO. Well, that's actually not a great place to start because of how competitive it is. Every SEO agency is creating content about SEO. So we completely avoided SEO. We create content about Instagram and LinkedIn and WooCommerce and Shopify and Facebook. And despite that not being about SEO, the people that are searching for help with Shopify, it's only marketers and founders. And at some point, they're going to need SEO. And I'm getting in at the top of the funnel. I'm capturing their contact information. I'm nurturing them with a nurture campaign. I'm building trust and credibility. And when they are ready, they're most familiar with me. So they're going to come back to me. We've written, dozens and dozens and dozens of articles like this, and later on in the presentation, I'm going to show you how you can, hijack some of these brands to send marketers and founders to your agency. So this is how we implemented it for ourselves, but when you do it with clients, there's still a big opportunity to implement it with clients. Like, for example, I was talking to a tea company, and they were super focused on, buy tea online, buy coffee online, those bottom of the funnel, very competitive searches that everybody in the US is gunning for, and it's going to take a lot of resources to get them there. And I said, listen guys, everybody wants to go in the front door, let's go in the back door. And let's start creating content that we know tea drinkers and coffee drinkers are searching for, but that's going to be super uncompetitive because no one else is targeting those. So every search on my screen is a search that is performed by a current coffee drinker or someone who's considering becoming a coffee or tea drinker. So when you get into Ahrefs, my number one piece of advice for finding these is just use the core keyword coffee, tea, Instagram, Shopify, and then start filtering by the modifiers that you know indicate an informational search. This is things like how, what, where, versus, best, top, reviews. That typically is always where I start in terms of finding the content that I want to write about for our agency or for our clients. So I'm going to give you guys another example. How much caffeine is in a cup of coffee? 11,000 searches a month. You don't have to convert very many of that traffic to make an ROI on the content. The one-time cost, you implement it, and now you have the opportunity to capture 11,000 eyeballs a month. And it stacks. You just stack and stack and stack and stack, and then eventually you get up to 50,000 visits a month. And your conversion numbers can be very low. You can make a lot of mistakes in terms of the funnel when you have that much traffic. And we're not experts at the funnel. We're experts at search, and so we're still figuring it out. Fitness, right? How much protein is in an egg? If I sold protein shakers, I know that the people who are using protein shakers are also interested in things like how much protein is in an egg, or how to make a protein shake, or whey protein isolate versus concentrate. And the fitness niche is, fairly competitive, but when you look at the difficulty scores of these keywords, you can see that these are not. All right, so the stage we're at is I've convinced you that you guys need to be investing in content across the buying funnel. You guys have done your research on Ahrefs and you found all the content that you want to write about. Now, how do we outrank these stronger brands with more powerful domains and more resources? Well, it's pretty simple. We've done it a bunch of times. Here are two examples. If you Google contact Instagram, we're going to outrank Instagram. Not only that, but we have the featured snippet. For those of you that are not in the US and you guys are in the rest of the world, the search results are country specific, and so we might not be number one, but if you're in the US and you're on mobile or desktop, I'm pretty sure we're going to be there. Here's how we did it with Shopify. Right? So this is the part where I'm going to jump on Chrome and I'm going to go through the exact differences between our content and their content and why we outrank them. So does anybody have any questions so far?
Forgive me if I missed it when you were saying it, but how were you ranking difficulty in those charts?
It's just the difficulty score that Ahrefs gives us.
Okay.
Nothing sophisticated.
And can you explain Ahrefs really quick?
Ahrefs is a competitor to SEO Moz or SEMrush. It's a research tool that tells you everything you want to know about your site, your competitor's site, your client sites. It's our favorite. All right, so I'm going to minimize this, and I might have trouble putting it.
Difficulty score, a low number meant less difficulty?
That is correct. We're hijacking their branded traffic to send marketers and founders, to Logic Inbound to convert them into leads and turn them into clients. So let's look at the Instagram article first. So remember when I said there's 200 things that backlink.io?
Remember to drag it up.
No. All right, so remember when I said that it's pretty frustrating how sites like backlinks.io and Neil Patel tell you there's 200 different things that you guys need to focus on, and I don't believe it's true. I'm going to show you the 5 things that I do believe matter. So Logic Inbound, featured snippet, outrank Shopify themselves. One of the first most important things you guys are all familiar with is relevance, but this really drives it home. When you look at the URLs of our site versus their site, you can see that we have an exact match query, while they have a bunch of garbly goop in the URL that doesn't really have to do with anything. The second is what we found is Google. You can outrank almost anything if you have more content than the competition. And so when we think about outranking anything, regardless of the keyword, what we do is we find the lowest DR page on the first page, and then we write 1.5 to 2x as much content as they do. And that's been a pretty good formula for us across the board, whether it's our site or whether it's a client site. The more content, the better. And it's not just any content. The content needs to be structured in a way that Google likes, which is structured data. This isn't confusing. It's just things like lists and bullet points. It's pictures, it's H2s. Find a way to use a table, put in a YouTube video. These are all things that I call structured data and that accelerate your first page rankings. So you can see that they have, this might be an H1. They don't have any H2s. There's no pictures. There's no lists. There's nothing. There's maybe 300 words on this page. So we said, hey, we could probably beat these guys. We're going to do it through relevancy, right? We're going to have more relevancy in the URL. We're also going to structure our data better, and we're going to provide more content. So we have an H1, we have a million H2s, and all the H2s are variations of the core keyword because we don't just want to rank for the core keyword. We want to rank for all of the variations in the way that people search is Shopify safe. We have a table of contents. This is really, really good. Google loves those. We bold stuff, bunch of H2s, and we got a picture. That's it. That was enough to outrank Shopify for some of their own branded terms. There's not a lot of backlinks. It's not like we have PBNs going or we dumped a bunch of resources into building backlinks. I think there might be 10 to 20. It's literally all it took is some good content. So exact same story for contact Instagram, right?
Can you hit Control Plus or
Yes.
there you go.
Great idea. So again, one exact match in the URL versus Instagram's 438.525 blah blah blah. And when we compare the content, we're going to see that all of the things that I said are important, we have. We have a picture up here. We have a hero image. We have an H1. We have bolded stuff. We have another table of contents. We have a million H2s, and they're all variations.
Why are H2s bigger than H1s?
I think it might just be the theme.
CSS.
CSS.
This challenge.
Yeah. We have a list. No pictures, but it doesn't matter in this scenario because we're still outranking Instagram. Now look at Instagram. Look how little content this is. So we're constantly on the lookout for opportunities to hijack traffic from other people's brands.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Did you roll all that out at once, or did you try I get the combination of all those different like just having H2s, would that do it?
So I think we got the initial success on the contact Instagram, and then we did it again with the Shopify, and then we did it again, and now we kind of have this formula going where we're pretty sure we can do it whenever we want to do it.
In terms of the on-page elements, did you try any of them independently? Or, that's
Nah.
okay.
Nah.
Do 'em all.
Yeah, just do them all.
All the tricks.
It's the same.
Well, we tell our writers to do them all, and then we end up with about 60%, and it still tends to work. What's up?
So did you find these official pages first and then understand their weaknesses, or did you look more at the search volume or the traffic?
Yep.
Which was first, or is there?
I looked at the opportunities first, so I never. I always look at the opportunity, and so with this formula, when we were looking at opportunities, competition isn't something that we consider very strongly, except to drive how much content we need for the page.
And you said DR earlier. What's DR?
Domain rating, ranking rating, but it's a made-up score by SEO Moz and Ahrefs, and the various tools all have their own formula. So let's move this thing back here. Okay, cool. All right, so any questions here, because we're going to move on to a slightly different section.
Your contents that you had in those last, the table of contents, are those links and all that stuff, and then
Yep.
you just go down to the page?
Exactly.
Okay.
And there's a WordPress plugin that'll just automatically generate those based off your H2s.
What's that called?
I'm not sure, but I can if you email me, I'll get you an answer.
They're basically anchor links, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So our theory is that Google has all this data, and it's seen again and again and again that good content has specific attributes. Now, Google can't actually understand the content, but it does know what good content is by the time on site, low bounce rate, lots of engagement with the site, multiple pages visited. And so I think Google has this heuristic where it says, all right, the people that do structured data with tables and YouTube videos, and they do outbound citations, and they have lots of H2s, and they have more content than the competitors, this is what good content looks like. And I think Google prioritizes the things that it sees with the heuristics of good content. So that's my theory anyways. All right, so high quality links. So one of the other cool things about Logic Inbound is we probably have the highest DR site maybe in Seattle, maybe in this room. Our DR is 61. Does anyone have a higher DR? DA. What's yours?
65.
That's fantastic. What's your domain?
Porch.com.
Okay. A little bit more resources than us. A little bit.
Yeah.
But we're coming for you.
Okay, come on.
So I'm gonna teach you how to increase your DR and how everyone here can increase your DR. These are really awesome backlinks that are themed well and are in our niche and really easy to get. So the first one is look at the software you guys are using internally within your organization or to deliver services to clients, and see if any of those guys publish case studies on their blog. Because if they publish case studies on their blog and you have a cool story, then they'll probably publish a case study about you too. And if you look at the typical software stack, you're using anywhere from 10 pieces of software, from your proposal to your CRM to your lead capture forms to your this plugin and that plugin, to if you're Porch, you probably have 100 different internal tools and tools that you guys use to do the stuff that Porch does. Here's an example. We ran this really cool campaign for a co-working space called Atlas Workbase using a plugin called Opt-in Monster. The results were attractive, and we reached out to Opt-in Monster and we say, hey, we got this cool story for you guys that shows that shows your prospects how cool you are. And so we made Opt-in Monster look cool, and in exchange they gave us a backlink from a high DA site that increased our DA.
Do you know about G2 Crowd?
Sorry?
G2 Crowd? They evaluate different cloud software.
Yep.
And they have some cool tools on it too, but they're always asking you to write reviews.
That's great. G2crowd.com.
Yeah.
I'm going to look into that one because that sounds perfect.
It's even easier than trying to get one of these, I think.
It sounds a lot
I
easier.
may not have the same authority, but
It sounds like I should be there anyways.
why not?
Yeah.
But you're saying this would be appropriate even if you're B2C because it would still improve the ranking of your site.
Yeah.
Even though the tools really aren't relevant to what the customer is looking for.
Yeah, let's say you're working with a client and they sell dog food. Well, if the client's using a particular tool in a cool way, right? That vendor wants to highlight that client to show other clients that, hey, it'll work for you too. The next one that's super simple is you can write PR about big companies. Shopify and Amazon announced an integration on a blog, and I saw that no one did some PR, so I ended up pushing PR on behalf of Amazon and Shopify. There's some sort of LinkedIn algorithm, and it actually ended up getting picked up by LinkedIn. It said Shopify is mentioned in the news, and 170 people I don't know liked it. And then it got syndicated by a bunch of places. I think like 200 places picked it up. One warning though, if you do publish PR about bigger companies, make sure you get all of the information right. Because if you don't, they're going to reach out to you and they're going to be mad about it.
Did you push that out through PR Web or?
We use something called like getnews.info. It's like $200 a month and then $7 a PR, and it goes out to lots and lots of sites. It's one of our primary backlink building strategies, and it's I can't say enough good things about it. All right, finally, Wikipedia. Wikipedia is really easy to get a link from, right? I just spent the last 10 months building content, and I got all this content that no one else on the internet has, so I'm going to go troll Wikipedia to see what opportunities I have to provide unique value. Now, this is an example of an article, funnily enough, about fake influencers, and I linked back to my article on Instagram automation. Now, you don't want to be too, you don't want to go for the throat on this. What we did was we also went and found some citations that were missing, and we cleaned up some stuff, and so we made a bunch of changes to the article while we were inserting our link. And you guys can do it too.
It doesn't bother you that that's a no-follow link?
Doesn't bother me at all. In fact, no-follow links have been some of our best links. It's not in the presentation, but I can talk about why I love no-follow links afterwards. All right, so I'm going to tell you how I got in Moz now. It's using a system that I've coined the buddy system. Now, the buddy system is great because your buddy does all the work and you sit back and reap the rewards. What the buddy system is if you have a press opportunity, you're going to loop your buddy into that press opportunity. You know how we got our Moz link? It wasn't by doing a bunch of work. We don't have an awesome case study. We don't know anyone at Moz. What we did was we reviewed the article of someone who did a bunch of work, who spent months hustling to find someone at Moz to post it. And we said, hey man, your article looks good. And he gave us a shout out in his Moz article. And now we have a backlink from Moz, and we didn't do any of the work. So this isn't just applicable to Moz. It's applicable to any kind of guest blogging opportunities that you guys are engaged on. If I have an opportunity on this website, I might hit up Jonathan Martin, and I'm going to ask him to review the opportunity and what I wrote, and I'm going to give him a little tiny link in the at the end of the article, and it's going to be great for him. And then he's going to do the same thing for me. So find a buddy. You don't just have to have one buddy. You can have multiple buddies. Find a buddy who's on the same track as you and start putting your heads together, doing some guest blog posting, and reviewing your stuff so you can link each other. So let's talk about Nofollow Links for a second. This is a tangent just off the top of my head. One of the strategies we've been having a lot of success with is only using Nofollow Links. But let me back up and give a little bit more context. Remember when I said I wanted to shortcut credibility? Well, one of my concerns was prospects would say, hey Nick, that's great that you can write a lot of content and rank it, but I'm an e-commerce company. I don't think that's the same. I'm not sure you can do it for me because I'm an e-commerce company and you're just listing blog posts. So we started an e-commerce company. And within, we started in September, so 6 months we got 650 first page keywords, and we've never had a faster ranking project. We've never had so many keywords on the first page in just 6 months with the amount of resources that we were dumping into it. And the only thing we did differently was using YouTube. We found knife videos. There's thousands of knife videos of people doing butterfly knife tricks. I buy the sponsored links in the ad description for $10. These videos still get a couple hundred visits a day, even though the channels aren't monetized for the creator. So the creator's pumped because they get $10 and they get to tell their friends they're sponsored. But YouTube is Nofollow only. And that's the only thing we did differently compared to client projects, and we got way outsized results. So our theory is, the fact that it's Nofollow isn't a problem. In fact, some Nofollow links can be more powerful than almost any other type of link we've ever built. Now, whether that applies to all the Nofollow opportunities, I don't know. Haven't done that much testing. But I do know if you have a chance to get a Nofollow link from YouTube, jump on it. Calls to action. We're hiring. If you're a tea company, a coffee company, or a fitness product, or you guys have a client that matches one of those, hit me up. I already did your guys' research. And connect with me. I'd love to stay in touch and learn from you guys. And just bring it all around. I hope you guys learned as much as I had fun presenting this today.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Questions, right?
Yeah, does anyone have any questions for me?
I was going to just clarify really quick. What was that PR service you get?
Getnews.info.
Getnews.info.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's always a good one.
Great.
Yeah.
And were you guys exposing some of Google's bias by the YouTube thing? I'm wondering, because of the Nofollow and the strength of it, it shows one of Google's greatest weaknesses.
It's got to be biased. I mean, it makes sense too.
Yeah,
I'd do it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Question in the back?
So I'm actually starting a coffee and tea concentrate company.
Sweet.
That's one of my companies, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to actually talk to you about marketing and selling.
Yeah.
I have a product, I have a co-packer, I have everything. I just haven't actually started selling it. So.
Yeah, shoot me an email, and we can connect after this. But the good news is I have 400 content opportunities for you to start writing on tonight.
Well, I probably need about 3 months free time.
So when you said you started an e-commerce company, did you mean a client, or you guys are actually selling knives?
Yeah, we're selling knives. So it's through Shopify. It's drop shipping. It's really cool because now we have this test bed that we can experiment with, and that's not a client site, and we don't have to worry about the logistics of actually selling stuff and holding inventory. A great example of why having a test bed is so important is one, I mentioned social proof. When I'm talking to an e-commerce company and I say, hey, I don't just sell e-commerce marketing, I actually do e-commerce marketing for myself, it changes the conversation. But two, I removed a bunch of products. I was doing a test. I was seeing if I could improve our port conversion rate. Removed a bunch of products, tanked our rankings. It was terrible. We lost about 50% of our sales. And when we put them back, we got it back. I'm not sure why, but I'm really glad I tested it on my side and not my clients.
I'm sorry, what did you drop?
We removed a bunch of products and it completely tanked rankings. So if anyone has some info there, I'd be super curious on why you think that happened.
So those sponsored no-follow links that you're getting from YouTube videos.
Yeah.
You were looking up and you went through all these butterfly knife videos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Where exactly are those no-follow links? Are they being put in the description?
The description.
The content creator?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you reach out to the content creator, you offer to buy, like sponsor their video.
Yeah, and it's way better than original content because original content is expensive. It takes a long time for the content creator to make, they could spend 10 hours on a video. You don't want to pay them what their time is actually worth. But if you come in with the content that's already created, right? This video was published a year ago, but the discovery features of YouTube mean that a lot of the traffic is long tail. So that video that was published 2 years ago with 1 million views, probably still gets like 1,000 visits a day. And to be able to get that for $10 is such a good ROI. In fact, I spent $50 in sponsorship fees, not including the cost of reaching out and finding all these YouTubers, which is quite difficult, by the way, because they don't take their channel seriously. They don't treat it like a business. But I spent $50 on sponsorships, and I made $550 in knife sales. And that's a very limited pilot with very little resources, and me just kind of R&Ding the technique internally.
So you give them $10 and you get a link in their description?
Depending on the YouTuber, yeah. Like a lot of the people that are flipping these knife videos are like 16.
Okay.
$10 is a lot of candy.
Okay. and it expires after a month, or?
Sorry?
It expires after?
Originally we started with paying them every month, but it just wasn't worth it. You need to get the one-time fee.
Okay. True.
And I got to say, in my previous role, I was doing international biz dev with the largest telecommunications companies in the world. And when I joined Logic Inbound, I did not expect it to be negotiating with 16-year-olds. So it's a little weird.
Any more questions for Nick?
One thing I find frequently frustrating with making contact, my 2 web pages are a illustration portfolio and a online comic strip. So as far as Google is concerned, sometimes my content is about a sentence worth of keywords.
Yep.
And so trying to expand on that is an ongoing uphill battle.
Okay, so a lot of people go, Nick, I don't want to add 2,000 words to my page. It's going to kill the aesthetics. And what I say is no problem. We're going to add 2,000 words, but we're going to hide it behind a UI element that, you click it and all the text rolls down. You click it again and it rolls back up. And this allows you to add massive amounts of content without ruining the aesthetics or drawing people's eyes away from what you want them to focus on. But yeah, your comics aren't going to rank without actual words.
Right. And the algorithm can't tell that that's not immediately visible?
Not today, because if you think about it, on e-commerce stores, there's a lot of information display, and a lot of them. Jonathan Martin left. There's a lot of buttons. It'll be like reviews. It'll be like product specs. It'll be like, right? Because you only have this much. Your bar is this big, but you want to display all the information. So it's used so legitimately today that at least not enough SEOers have exploited it for it to be on Matt Cutts and Larry's radar.
You have to implement that right.
Yes.
So if you have it hidden and it doesn't load on, when you hit the page, it won't work. So you have to have it load behind the drawer.
Yes. Are you correcting me, or?
No.
Because I'm not sure either, actually.
Agreeing. Yes. You can have it in a drawer. You just need to have it on page load behind the drawer. Just when you implement. Just ask your developer to do that for you. They will do it.
Fantastic. Thank you for clarifying, because I think that's a really important detail.
Could you go through that again?
The whole thing? Sorry?
Talking like accordion?
Oh yeah, it's just accordion. Search Google. There's a plugin. Maybe it's 3 lines of CSS. I'm not a developer. Are you a developer?
No, I work with them.
Okay.
We tested it.
Oh, you did. Sweet. Did it work good for you guys?
Yeah, if you load it on page load.
Yeah.
It's great.
Was
Yeah.
there guidance from Google on that in their documentation?
I'm sure they'd say that, but they don't trivialize themselves.
I'm just curious.
What's the name of the knife store?
Great question. My favorite question so far. Hobanco.com.
Spell it again.
HOBANCO. Cool. Well, again, hiring. If you guys know some stuff that I don't related to funnels and stuff and nurture, I'd love to talk more. And if you guys want to just learn more from me as I go on this crazy SEO journey, I'm going to be publishing on all my social profiles. So thanks again, guys.